Hello, everybody, and welcome to Just Another Nerdy Podcast. We had a little bit of a dropout there, but I'm just going to start again for those of you curious. This is our nerdy show where we get together, we talk about the things that make us passionate or nerdy, as some like to say. We like to talk about nerdy news, and then we also like to talk to awesome streamers once a week, Mondays, as today be, and get to know their story. Today, we're being joined by the super awesome Tripod GG. Tripod, how are you doing today, sir?
Well, I'm still breathing. I can't complain.
Well, that's good. That is fantastic. I'm glad. I like to tell people whenever they ask me how I'm doing, I say I'm awake. That's my thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because then it's ambiguous enough. They don't know if I'm doing good or not. um, so Tripod. I just thought like you got a big Fallout theme going on here. I've checked out your channel just a little bit. I wanted to save all the spoilers for you to kind of bring them to me. So tell me a little bit about is Fallout like a major thing for your channel? Like, is that what you play a lot?
So I used to play a lot of Fallout. I'm somewhere north of like 10,000 hours in the series. Um, Pretty much, it kind of came accidental. I mean, I love the series. I've played all of them on stream, and one day we were playing Fallout 4. One of the DLCs has you building a vault. And so I was in the process of it, and someone came in and followed, and I just said, "Hey, welcome to the vault." And it just kinda stuck. I'm like, "Oh, how about that? I think I just made a theme just now, and I've been running with it ever since."
Awesome, awesome. So you've probably played like a lot of Fallout 3, Fallout 4, and Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah, New Vegas is definitely, the best in the series. Uh, most most fans will agree on that. Beyond New Vegas being the best, it's kind of up for debate, as where people place them. But yeah, I've
Probably played quite a bit of New Vegas, yeah. Um, uh-oh. I think we lost you. Are you still with us, sir?
I'm still here.
There we go. Okay, good. I had a little bit of a oh no moment. Okay, so yeah, I've heard a lot about Fallout New Vegas being a lot of people's top of all time. I was actually going to ask you which one was going to be your favorite. So I'm really glad you answered that. I've only been able to play 3 and 4. I know 4 is pretty divisive. I think both are very fun in their own rights. I kind of enjoy them regardless. But so let's talk about this evolution of Fallout a little bit. So did you start as Tripod GG or did you have a different name when you started?
No, I've been Tripod GG since I started my account on Twitch. And I've had that name for the
The better part of how long?
better part of the last decade.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh, the better part of the last decade. So have you been like do you do more than Twitch? Like how long has you been around on Twitch?
Well, I've been around on just specifically like my account on Twitch has been around since 2014. However, I worked in the gaming industry for a number of years. The company I worked for provided all of the gaming equipment for the major tournaments across the country, and so I used to play a lot of fighting games. I also used to do shooters, first person shooters. I was real big in the competitive scene back when the MLG first started. Um, my claim to fame is that Ninja met his wife at my tournament. So, but yeah, we all kind of we played a lot of that stuff, and so my name's been around since way back then, but I wasn't actively streaming, even though I was working with Twitch and Twitch streamers, like professional broadcast streamers back in the what was considered professional back in the day, the early days of Justin TV, and then eventually Twitch. Um, so, but I didn't create an account until much later. But so yeah, I've had the name for quite some time.
Okay. Well, what got you to what do you mind me asking the origin of Tripod GG, like where that came from?
Okay, so, I kinda leave that one up to people to figure out on their own, I guess you could say.
Oh, all right. It's fairly ambiguous. Why have one choice when there are multiple choices?
Yeah, yeah, maybe I love cameras. Maybe it's something else. I let you decide. You do the math on that.
What are some of the popular theories out there?
Is it appropriate to say those things?
Yeah.
Well, there's a few chats that I
Oh.
go into, and they are like I have an event when I speak in their chat, and there's actually a sound clip from Fallout New Vegas that they use where Cass says, "Nobody's dick's that long, not even Long Dick Johnson, and he had a fucking long dick, thus the name." That seems to be the recurring theme, but like I said, I'll let you guys do the math.
Yeah, oh, okay. Okay. I get it. I get it. All right. So, and that's probably like because you work with cameras and whatnot, that's probably what's inspired the sort of the promo picture that I have up here of you. Um, is having the tripod and the fact that you work with cameras a lot, right?
Yeah, the inspiration behind that was actually, a fellow streamer friend of mine, who said to me, "Your original logo," which I still use, "your original logo doesn't really make me think of Fallout." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" He goes, "Well, if you had if you were a Fallout perk, what would that look like?" And it got me thinking. I'm thinking about the icons and the way things look in game, and that's kind of what I came up with.
That's awesome. It looks really cool. Did you draw that or did you have someone draw that for you?
So I'm not an artist by any means, but I do all of my own artwork in photo.
That's awesome.
Usually, I take like stock images and modify them.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about when you first got into Twitch. You said you started quite a while ago, but like when I'm assuming you were introduced to Twitch probably through all the gamers that you got to work with and stuff, but like what inspired you? Like when did you first hear about it? What inspired you to sort of jump in yourself?
So, that's actually an interesting one. We were I don't remember which event we were first at, when I saw a buddy of mine who was hosting, our stream for the company, and it was, we had Street Fighter setups, all around our booth, and people would come up and just do casual play, and so, um after a while, was seeing him doing these at these different events, and I was like, "So what exactly is going on here?" You want just kind of picking his brain and stuff. And he told me what was up, and I was like, "Oh, so that's what this is. I understand now because I actually work in IT and I was in college for IT and at the time, and so I was like, "Oh, okay, I follow along." So then we were going to I forget which year, we were going to Evo, which is the largest fighting game tournament. We're going down to work that, and we had to haul all of the equipment down, which included the equipment for the stream. And so we got there, and he shows up to do setups and stuff, and I'm like, "Okay, I've asked you enough questions. I need to just like if I wanted to do something like this because I see the reaction from people and I see the interaction with the people who aren't here, and I think it's really cool. I really would like to try and dabble in this myself and see if it's something that I can do. Um, what direction should I start looking, or what should I do, what not, and just kind of ask the basic questions. And he's like, "Oh, here, hang on. After the event, I'll get you links." And he just threw 12,000 links at me as far as like which cameras to use, what software to use, so on and so forth. And those were the early days of OBS when OBS Classic was really underdeveloped, and so I started using XSplit, because that's what he was using, and, just kinda went from there, really.
Awesome. So if we're talking tech then, like what did you start with? So you started with XSplit, but like did you already have the camera equipment? Did you already have like a good microphone? Was that something that you kind of had to figure out?
A lot of that I did have to figure out, so back, we're talking 3 years ago, the C920 was a rather expensive camera, and I started with like I think a C615. It was a cheap 720 cam, but would work, and I was using the microphone that was on my headset, and it was not by any means any quality. We've actually gone back and watched old live streams that I've archived to YouTube or something. At anniversary streams, I look back and show all my viewers like the evolution of my channel and like, look at how bad things used to be. Look at how terrible it sounded. Look at the bad camera quality and then look at things now and just kind of give it some perspective that even if I've got amazing production quality now, which I by any means do not think I have amazing production quality, but by comparison, it's amazing. And the difference of what it was 3 years ago when I first started to what it is now is night and day. And it's always nice to look back at those things and just kind of remember where you came from, remember the struggles that you had trying to learn and figure things out and watching other streams and seeing what they were doing and trying to figure out how it would work for me and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean I had a computer that I had built I don't know, maybe a year prior or 2 or well, no, gosh, it would have been 3 years because I had the computer for 6. So it was 3 years prior, I guess, at the time, and was well built, for its time. It's all old tech now, but, decent computer and just had to, pick up a couple peripherals, get a capture card and things like that so that I could capture all my consoles. Um, and yeah, just kind of went from there and experimented with different things, but a lot of the base tech was already there. It was just a matter of maybe little upgrades here or there.
That's awesome. So you started back in the the OG days of I would say the OG days of Twitch, like kind of like you said, like when it was kind of OBS was getting its start and stuff. What do you think of like since Amazon bought Twitch and now you have like Streamlabs, OBS, and all that? What do you think of like the evolution of Twitch now?
Well, like I said, I worked with some of those guys. I know some of the originals, like the founders of Twitch. I've had drinks with these guys, so I've seen a lot of the evolution, and Twitch has come such a long ways. Just like we'll take a step away from Justin TV and look just at Twitch exclusively. And with little things like you mentioned Streamlabs, so Streamlabs OBS, but even before that, just having Streamlabs and then Muxy and all these other options for alerts that have come up, with like Stream Elements and different web-based bots versus self-hosted bots is what I would call like an application like Unkbot or now known as Chatbot, or Phantom Bot is another one that I would call self-hosted versus cloud-hosted, and like just all of the options that have come up. It's very very obvious that live streaming is the direction that content is moving to. I'm even seeing YouTubers coming over to Twitch because live content is where it's at. I love the evolution. Amazon, for all its faults, is a wonderful company. Um, I kind of I wouldn't say that I exclusively shop with Amazon, but I kind of exclusively shop with Amazon. Yeah, they've had dropped the ball with this whole um 1099 situation this year. But last year was fine. Next year I'm sure will be fine. It's a lot of new things coming with affiliate status being a new thing last year, and then this was like their first year with having 1099s for the 350,000 affiliates that are out there, and going from 20,000 to 36,000 partners or whatever the number is. So there's a lot of things that have changed, and I feel like a lot of it is for the better. Yeah, there might be a few things that are kind of like, well, that's not great, or that kind of sucks, or whatever. But as a whole, I feel like Amazon is doing a really, really good job. They're adding features that have been long requested. Yeah, they might take away some of the functionalities of things that they wanted or that we wanted or whatever, but all in all, I think that it's a good move forward. And you see all these other companies coming up with their own streaming services and trying to compete, which just goes to show you that live content is the future. And Amazon made the right choice in acquiring Twitch.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think especially the with what they've been able to change, they made it so much more interesting. It went from just a gaming platform to basically any sort of expressive platform. They were able to like tune into the fact that there's like a lot of artists and musicians and whatnot here as well, and make that work. Um, but it's incredible to see what they've done to it and how much it's changed and how much support it's gotten. You know, um, that's one of my favorite things. Kind of looking back, because I started maybe 3 years ago, just before I think Amazon bought Twitch. It might have been four. I don't know. It's been a while. But it just still blows my mind every day to kind of see the changes as they go. Um, so let's go back to your early days. Did you exclusively play Fallout in the beginning, or was there other types of games you like to play?
No, I've always been a variety broadcaster. I mean, we did a Fallout 1, Fallout 2 playthrough, done a 3 in New Vegas, and a 4. We've done several of those. Did a Tale of Two Wastelands, which is, a mod that runs, Fallout 3 and New Vegas simultaneously, and you can actively switch between the games and carry weapons and items that are unavailable in one over to the other. And so, I mean, we've done all of that, but I've always been variety. I was doing early playthroughs of Alien Isolation. I played. Um, Life is Strange was a huge one. I mean, we made a drinking game out of Rocket League. So there's all kinds of stuff that I played. And I've kind of taken pride in the fact that I'm exclusively variety. I like to say, like, I will always be that guy that you can I'll give any game a shot. If it's if like the newest My Little Pony game came out and it was absolutely phenomenal, yeah, I'll play it and I'll enjoy the hell out of it too because I love games. I love the stories that they tell. I love to see what developers will come up with next and kind of engulf myself into their creation. And I like to bring my community along for the ride.
I get you. So what is some of your favorite stuff that you've gotten to play so far?
Until Dawn is, in my opinion, one of the greatest stories ever written in a video game. Maybe not uh, going as far as to say one of the greatest stories ever written of all time, but as far as video games go, that game's a bloody masterpiece. There's so much going on. Side note here, I'm a professional speedrunner as well, which I'm guessing you were probably going to touch on later, and we can do that. But I have played that game so many times. I actually hold a world record for Until Dawn in the all 8 survive category, so keeping everybody alive. But Until Dawn is so good in the fact that it's so much more than just like a monster horror trope video game. It actually dives a lot into mental illness and awareness of that, but it's so much on the side that you don't really see it your first playthrough, that you really need to play through the game multiple times in order to start picking up on some of these things. And that's really awesome that the writer who the guy who wrote it is actually in the game too, which is kind of a fun little fact. But he was able to build a character that you hate. You get so angry at this character, and then when you really learn his story, you're like, "Oh my, it's really not his fault." You start to feel bad for the guy, and that's good writing if you ask me. I absolutely love that game. We play it many times. It is a 4-hour speed run, so if I'm gonna play Until Dawn, that's probably all I'm going to play, for that day, but it is absolutely a freaking treasure. Anybody who hasn't played that game needs to play it. Um, Outside of that, I would actually have to look through my list of games. I've got north of 450 games in my Steam library alone. So we've played a lot of stuff. Um, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is another great game with that deals with mental illness. Not like I'm not trying to go on a theme here of mental illness awareness or anything like that, but those are really strong games. The games that focus on an actual topic as opposed to like as much as I love Halo, I used to play Halo back in the day. As much as I love Halo, it's a made up story, and it doesn't really deal with real world events and doesn't kind of touch on those things. Anything that I can do to use my platform for awareness and spreading positivity and stuff, I'm all for. So those types of games I absolutely love, and I don't ever want to stop playing them. So when the game is done, I'm kind of sad, honestly. Um, there's so many out there. I've played so many games. I'm not even really sure where else I can go besides games like that.
Okay, so what are you playing right now?
Right now, we're playing through the Batman Arkham series. We just finished Arkham Asylum. Last was it Friday? I think it was. And we're in Arkham City right now.
Yeah, are you trying to do full completion like Riddler trophies and whatnot? And we're live again. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We had a little bit of a technical snafu there. I do apologize. My computer thought it was a great time to start a battle royale with me, or at least my internet, my Wi-Fi router, and my modem. I think it's mostly my modem. I don't know. But welcome back, everybody. Tripod, thank you so much for being so patient in the middle of all that.
Well, like I was saying in the DMs, I work in IT at my day job. I'm a network engineer by trade, so I get it. I understand. I see this stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of a common thing. It's not a common thing on my stream. Every now and then, it decides to be a bit of a pain. Today being the day. I've never actually had this issue. I don't think doing one of these interviews, so it's a bit of a random experience, but that's all right. We're gonna push through. So tripod. Beforehand, we were talking about gaming that you were doing currently. What type of games are you currently playing, and what can we see down the line for the future of what you're going to be playing?
So yeah, you asked me what I was playing right now. I'm currently playing through the Batman Arkham series. We finished Arkham Asylum last week. We're on City right now. Although I feel like I've played them all. Right, they're phenomenal games, and so I feel like I'm getting fairly close to finishing City. I'm not doing a lot of the side stuff, the side missions, side quests. If I come across one, yeah, sure, but I'm primarily focusing on the story because the stories are so good. I'm not a DC Comics fan. I just said Detective Comics. I just realized I'm not a DC fan. I'm primarily a Marvel fan, but I do love me some Batman. I feel like Joker is the greatest villain ever created of all time. Um, but that's a story for another day. Um, but then, so we're playing through that. I also do a lot of Beat Saber. I just got into VR at the start of the year. Play a lot of Beat Saber, do mixed reality for that, which is always fun. Um, and then speed runs. I'm doing monthly now. I do a what I call Speedrun Saturday, which was it was a weekly thing. I used to do it every Saturday, but I was getting burnt out, so I stopped. Um, and then we just brought it back uh, for for monthly events now. So it'll be once a month. We'll do Speedrun Saturday, where I speedrun Outlast, Little Nightmares, Perception, and then Until Dawn. I might not do Until Dawn because it's such a long run. But maybe one speed run Saturday, that's all I'll run. So yeah, that's kind of the content you can see in the near future. Past the Arkham series, I haven't really planned. I'm not really 100% sure. I also do regular multi streams with my friend Sally. She and I do every Friday. We're doing multi streams, playing multiplayer games together and stuff.
What's your favorite stuff to play together so far?
Well, we have done a lot of Diablo 3, and then we were doing, Portal 2, which is always fun. Love Portal. Last Friday, we played Human Fall Flat, which was my first experience with that. Very, very interesting game. But I really honestly, I love playing, Diablo and Portal with Sally. It's always a good time, so we have fun.
That's great. Hey, Pin King 554, welcome into the chat. How are you doing? Feel free to ask any questions if you have any. I will be ready to relay them for you. So,
Oh, and Pin King is one of my regular viewers.
okay. Do you think Pin King knows everything, or is there a secret that Pin King wants to know outside of your name origin? We're just not going there.
Oh, I don't know. He's been around for a long time, so he probably knows.
That's awesome. Okay, so let's talk about like your niche and whatnot. We've discussed a little bit about how you kind of wrapped a little, like you wrapped around Fallout. You have sort of this mythos about your name. But what do you feel like if someone were to describe you to a friend? Pinking, do me a favor, drop in how you would describe tripod to a friend. But how do you think people like? What do you think your niche is? Like, how do you think people describe you?
I mean, I try to and I've really worked on building a community of positivity. I want to I want to I hate using the word safe space because there's so much of a negative stigma around that term, but it's kind of the best way to describe my channel. Everybody is welcome in my channel, and I would think that people would, when talking about me, that's exactly what they would say is that like he's a super chill dude that's just welcoming of everybody, um, because we like for early rules of my chat is no racism, no politics, no religion. That's we're not here for those things. We're and the multiplayer, whatever it is that we're doing. We're not here to have those conversations. I'm not against having those conversations, but just not on my channel. It's not what we're here for. We're here to enjoy games, and those topics can be very divisive. And I don't want people to feel like they're not welcome just because we have a difference of opinions. So I just decided early on we're just not going to talk about those things. So I would think that that's kind of how people would describe me as just like you know a chill dude that's very welcoming of everybody because I want to meet people. I want people to come in and hang out and meet the amazing people. I mean, I've made literally some of the best friends that I've ever had in my life uh, from Twitch. We did a big TwitchCon thing, and you know, I've s- like I had situations where I had done for lack of better terms, done damage to myself. It wasn't like self-harm or anything, it was just, like, financial. I dug myself into a really bad hole, and I had friends who were like, "No, we need to help this guy because he's a good dude." When my six-year-old PC crashed and I had no plan because I wasn't thinking about myself, I was thinking about others. I don't care about money, so I never thought about that stuff, and so my community and my friends, they all banded together to help I'm on a dual PC setup, so I had 2 PCs to replace, and they banded together and got me the money to build 2 brand new PCs, and I'm not talking about, like, a cheapo Walmart special type thing. I mean, I've got 2 pretty amazing computers here that should last me for quite some time now, and that's because of the amazing people that I've met through Twitch. Like, I didn't know them prior to Twitch, and, it's I love my community, and I wanna meet more people, and I wanna bring more people into that, because we've got such a great group of people, and so I would hope that's what people would say, like, he's a welcoming person that legitimately loves and cares for people.
I mean, I would think, just I mean, from the results of like, someone if they bought you, like, they banded together to buy you computers to be able to see you do this longer and more. I think that's evidence on its own. You know,
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. Yeah.
yeah, and I think it's awesome that because that's kind of the thing that that I want to push for the podcast is to kind of push away this negativity that is like clouding the world, the toxicity, especially if you talk about politics or religion, stuff like that, like and just kind of talk about what we're nerdy about, really enjoying things. So
Absolutely.
I think that's really admirable. I hope many people kind of relate to that and continue to help you grow in that category. So I because of technical issues and whatnot, and the fear of the unknown of whether or not my modem or router is going to just decide to kill itself again. Um, I figure we could wrap up with just a few questions. And again, thank you so much for joining us here, Tripod. This is big. So I wanted to just ask if like what. So say there are some streamers out here who are listening to you that if you were to have any advice for them, if they're trying to grow, they're trying to change, what advice would you give them?
Well, there's a few very, very simple things, honestly, that I think a lot of people overlook. First one is not necessarily like for someone who's just starting, right? If you're just starting and you just want to see if it's something that you enjoy doing or have some fun with it, and you're not trying to build a community. You're just like, hey, I'm playing. Let's stream too because that'll be fun. Do your thing, right? Enjoy your time, right? As long as you're having fun, that's cool. If you're someone who's wanting to try and build a community, maybe make affiliate one day, maybe long term go for partnership, whatever that might be. If those are your goals, they're great goals to have. The first thing I would say is schedule. Like, it is so important to have a schedule. Even if that schedule is only 3 days a week, I wouldn't do less than three. But even if it's only 3 days a week, to have a schedule and stick to that schedule. I know that can be difficult for some people with work, in which case you do a weekly schedule or a biweekly schedule, and you just tweet it out and put it in your Discord and whatnot. This is the schedule for this week, or this is the schedule for the next 2 weeks. Or like me, this is my schedule. But it's very important, and I always use the analogy of Monday Night Football. Now, I don't know if Monday Night Football is even a thing anymore because 1, I don't watch football, and 2, I don't watch TV. So, but let's just go with that analogy. Monday Night Football starts at 6 p.m., let's say, and you watch Monday Night Football every week at 6 p.m. And then one week you go to watch it and the Golden Girls is on. Well, you're not going to be very happy and you're going to go find something else to watch. The same concept applies to your stream. If you're supposed to be live at 7 p.m., like that's my time, then you should be live at 7 p.m. on your days. If there's a reason you can't, tweet about it as soon as possible, of course, but do your best to set a schedule that you know you can keep and stick to it. Of course, everybody has situations that come up where you can't always make streams. Sometimes you have, oh, I don't know, technical issues, that kind of stuff happens. You can't, control every aspect of your life, but do the best that you can. Um, and like definitely start there. The other part is discovery. Everybody wants to play Apex right now, but if you've got 2 or 3 people in your channel, discovery is next to impossible because everybody's playing Apex right now. Find another game that you enjoy, that you can have fun playing, that maybe you'll be higher on the list, you know? For the longest time, I was playing Elite Dangerous. I love Elite Dangerous. It's not necessarily my first game of choice, but I love it, and it's a lot of fun because I don't have to be hyper focused on the game. I can really focus on the chat, and I feel like that was, kind of a reason why I was getting better numbers playing Elite Dangerous because I can be more interactive with the chat. And so instead of playing, like the newest Tomb Raider comes out or Detroit Become Human comes out, or whatever big AAA title, Resident Evil 2 just recently here. All of those games when they first come out, everybody wants to play them, but you've got major players that are playing these games as well, and your discovery just plummets at that point. So maybe give it some time. Don't play the super popular games right away. Let the hype kind of die down, so to speak. Because people aren't going to forget that Resident Evil 2 just released. They're not going to forget that. They're not going to forget that Fallout 76, as terrible of a game as it is, when it first came out, everybody was playing it. And so people aren't forgetting that the game exists, but they won't find you because your channel is so low on the list when you've got people who have literally thousands watching them and you've got 2. How far down do you have to scroll? It's funny, I just saw a tweet about this. How far down did somebody have to or did you have to scroll to find a channel that's similar to your size? Things like that, are really important to consider, discovery and your schedule. Past that, have fun, enjoy yourself. I'm not saying don't play Apex, right? I'm not saying, never miss a stream. I mean, do the best that you can, right? But, at the end of the day, if you're having fun, it's gonna come through to your viewers. If you're not having fun, that's also gonna come through to your viewers. So it's important that you enjoy what you do. And I mean, not everybody is gonna make partner. Not every I mean, I'm staring down the barrel of I would love to be partnered one day. It is my long-term goal, and it's not so I can quit my job and make money as a professional streamer for the rest of my life. I love my job and I have no intention of leaving it. The reason why I want partnership is so that I can provide more for my community, provide more emotes, provide more features because as I every single penny that I make from streaming gets put back into my stream 100%. I'm completely open with all of that too. I'll tell everybody where I spend my money, because it all goes to a dedicated PayPal account, and so every donation, every sub, every bit that's cheered, it all goes right back into the stream, whether it's through I do game giveaways literally every single night. I gave away a game every night in 2018 that I streamed, and I'm continuing that into 2019 as much as I can, although the codes are running low. But I do that. I try to, give back to my community to, show my appreciation. So yeah, if I reach partnership one day, then I can start, making money on ad revenue, for example. And that money then gets turned around and purchases more games for more giveaways and helps me upgrade my stream so that I have better quality so it's more entertaining, or it buys the latest games so that we can all enjoy it, or so on and so forth. So, but I mean, not everybody will get partnered. That's why there's, a million people or 1.5 million broadcasters, and even of that, only 350,000 are affiliates because there's so many people out there that are they're just streaming for fun. They're not trying to make a career out of it, or they don't want to, or maybe they just aren't thinking about those discovery things or the schedule things, um, or the quality things. I mean, the good quality camera doesn't cost but $50, and decent mic is, another 50, give or take, depending on the route you go. But there's, all of that stuff comes with time and whether or not you decide you want to actually go that route. So I know that's a really long-winded answer, but it is, I feel, kind of important things for people who are trying to really they want to stream. These are the things that you got to do. It took me a while to figure that out, and it took other people telling me these things repeatedly before I finally caught on and started to listen. So, yes, long-winded response, but those are definitely important things.
Yeah, I think that's actually very helpful to people. I mean, I've had a little bit of that advice myself for some people. Even if you can't make like if you even if you're not sure if you can make your schedule, at least make the schedule, put it out there, and then keep people updated on whether or not you can make it out there. Tech is always a good investment. I think there's a lot of really good helpful stuff there. Thank you so much. But I do have to let everybody go. You know, my wife just got home. On Ping King's thing, Life and Family Ones before streaming. So, we are gonna have to go. But Tripod, I just want to say thank you so much for dropping in and giving up your time and actually sticking with me through all of the technical crisis through today. So, thank you so much.
Honestly, it was legit, it was my pleasure. I was very honored that you messaged me and said, "Hey, would you be interested in doing an interview?" I was like, "Wait, why would you wanna interview me? I'm nobody special," but, it was very touching to me that came about, so it was honest to God, it was my pleasure.
Oh, good. Well, thank you so much, guys. If you're curious, this Wednesday we're going to be having we're going to be doing our get together weekly. We're going to talk about the nerdy news for the week. We're going to have Tiana and Nick on. I'm sure Tiana's going to have some amazing adventure stories because she's always off doing something cool. Nick will probably have something fun and retro to talk about. We're going to be doing the Captain Marvel review this week. And then again, try and stay tuned. We're going to be trying to get some Dungeons and Dragons up on the actual audio portion. You can find links or buttons in the description down below for everything. There's just a picture. All you got to do is click on it. Boom. You can follow our social medias. Tommy's on Twitter, hitting it up, having conversations with people. So do us a favor, drop in, say hi, or feel free to DM us, and we'll be able to reply back and kind of have a good, nice, long conversation with you guys if you want. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and we're going to see you next time. Be good.